It's Sefira time again. So what does that mean? We are counting spheres. Here they are. We're counting these things here. You see. Well, we're not counting 10. We're counting 49. You see. 49 is 7 times 7. It's the midot attributes. We're counting the ones that are basically the ones on the columns on the sides. You got 6, 6, and then you got the Malkut here in the middle. That's what we're counting. That's a purification that we're going through until we get to Shavuot, when we get to the level of BINAH, the 50th gate. Now, what does that mean? 50th gate of BINAH. The number 50 is also the gematria of the word kol. Kol, there's a lot of meanings to that word, kol. It's related to the idea of completion, vayachulu. You see what it says here in the Siddur, when God created everything, he rested on Shabbat, and everything was finished on Shabbat. So it's the whole idea of Shabbat is completion. It's right over here, vayachulu. You see, vayachulu, right there. You see, it's right there. Vayachulu Shemayim v'aretz v'chol tzva'av vayachal Elokim b'yom hashvi'i malachta asher asa. You see, so it's the idea of the level of completion. It also means restriction, termination, rest on Shabbat, because on Shabbat we don't do work. It's related to the planet Saturn, which the name of Shabbat is Shabbatai. Shabbat, the name of Saturn is Shabbatai, which is like Shabbat, the same thing, restriction, no work. The word kol is also related to completion, which means like destruction or consumption, or the idea of one's expiration, of having a desire to expire unto God, to only the desire for godliness, the kale she'eri ulevavi, my soul expires for God, that only wants God and nothing else, only the essence of God himself and not all the other levels. The Sefira of Yessod also, which is the uniting Sefira here at the bottom, I'll show you again. It was related to, here it is, Yessod. Yessod, there it is. There's Yessod right below Malkut. You see, it's in between Malkut on the bottom, which is called Kingdom, Malkut, and the higher spirit are united by Yessod, which is intermediary between the heavens and the earth. The Achid Shemaya Va'ara. It unites the heavens and the earth. It's also the same concept of completion. So you're uniting both levels, the lower level of Malkut and the higher level of the Zeir Anpin, the masculine and the feminine, which the masculine is the 6 Sefirot, Chesed, Gevurah. Here, I'll show you again here. The 2 columns, the 3 and the 3 on the side, those are the masculine aspects here. Zeir Anpin is a word for masculine, and the Malkut here at the bottom, which is the feminine, which is Eretz here, unites them all. So you see what the idea of kol is. And once we get to the 50th gate of BINAH, BINAH is referring to the life force, Elokim Chaim. It's also referring to the idea of freedom, because on the 50th year there was a yovel where things were released. Slaves were released, property released, and everything. So it's also related to the first letters of God's, the first hey of God's name here, BINAH. You see that God has 4 letters, the big hey on the side there. Yud K, the first hey of God's name is related to BINAH. BINAH is understanding, BINAH is expansion. The word shar, the 50th gate of BINAH, gate, is the idea of a shar is something expansive. So this is what happens. We go through a contraction of counting all the Sefirot and the restrictions of the days of Sefirot until we reach Shavuot, and we reach the level of expansion and life force of BINAH. And we don't count 50. It's higher. It's at a higher spiritual level that doesn't even require counting.